Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At ease, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give Mrs. Devers Sr. a hand? Thank you, Deborah. And would you also give a hand to the Nellis Air Force Base Color Guard? Thank you, gentlemen. Would you join me now in a moment of silence for our POW/MIA and those comrades that have passed on, and for those special operations personnel and other military forces serving in our country, or serving our country throughout the world in harm's way. Gentlemen, would you charge the glasses at your table? Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the Commander-in-Chief. Here in the United States Army. United States Marine Corps. Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
Mr. President, I propose a toast to the United States Special Operations Forces.
Hear, hear.
Mr. President, propose a toast to Allied forces.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Gentlemen, seat your ladies.
Mr. President,
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
may I propose a toast to our ladies?
A toast to the ladies. To the ladies. Take your seats, gentlemen.
Right, view before age.
Any chance of a National Guard Reserve parade? National toast to National Guard Reserves?
Not at this point. Ron Workman. Mr. Ownby. Ladies and gentlemen, give us your attention, please. May we have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you good evening. As your President, Mr. Jim Hettricks, has stated, I have the honour to acknowledge our fallen comrades this evening with a tribute to the fallen. However, in doing so, with the President's blessing, we both believe that it's also an appropriate dimension in time to pay tribute to all assembled this evening. As such, my wife and I, as representatives from Australia, wish to convey to you and the American people that the Australian people not only share with you your sadness at your losses throughout the world today, but also stand beside you with his unwavering support in pursuit of world peace. As such, we assemble here this evening not only as ex-service personnel, but as a special group who have served their country in a very special way. And like those who have gone before you, I pay tribute to you all who contributed so much in shaping this great country. Tonight also helps us to remind ourselves that it is important to value who we are and the freedoms we possess. As over a century of tears has brought us here tonight, and it is a reminder that the price of peace is always eternal vigilance, and a reminder to those who may wish to forget that freedom only survives as long as people are willing to defend it. And tonight, I acknowledge their heroism in doing so. And today, we are again also reminded of our young servicemen and women throughout all parts of the world on special projects and humanitarian duties. And we honour them for the way they honour us. Ladies and gentlemen, wars and conflicts can and are considered unpopular. But again, the objectors must be confronted with the stern knowledge and a reminder that the alternative will be much worse. As there is no greater gift in the world today than freedom. Freedom only survives as long as people are willing to defend it by acknowledging and cherishing the freedom they have today. This evening in this special tribute, we salute such ideals as courage, devotion, endurance, compassion, and particularly mateship, and more so what it means to trust someone else with your own life. These are all high human values. This evening assembled here are those who have served their country in war and conflict. What they did was to offer their very existence for the freedom of mankind and to ensure also our own children can also play without fear. Such has been the greatness of their generous hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to be upstanding for the tribute to the fallen. Please be upstanding. America and our allied countries mourn for her. Flesh of their flesh they were, spirit of their spirit, fallen in the cause of the free. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, and steady as a glow. They were staunch unto the end against all odds encountered. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. The going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them, lest we forget. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
I want to men's out there with the RCSOS before I remember that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank Sergeant Ron Workman. Ron was a member of the 315th Air Commando Group, Royal Australian Air Force, served in Vietnam in 1965. They flew the Caribous. Give him a hand. Thank you. Take a seat, please. I would like to this time introduce a number of our guests. Jug Banquet, who I will introduce later. Jug, if you'd stand up now. I wish to thank the members and guests of the Uniformed Services Disabled Retirees Association, the USDR, for sharing our 30th reunion with us. There are approximately 20 members here who have joined us for this evening. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Also, our warrior widows, Mrs. Toshi Meehan, widow of deceased SOA member Mick Meehan, Mrs. Evelyn Gray, widow of deceased SOA member Wiley Gray, Mrs. Marianne Harrison, widow of deceased SOA member Marshall Harrison, Mrs. Barbara Beercham, a widow of deceased SOG member Jim Beercham, Mrs. Rosie Childs, widow of deceased SOA member Art Childs, and Mrs. Toby Thomas, widow of deceased SOA member John Thomas. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. I would like also to introduce you to the active duty members who have joined us tonight. Could I have you stand, please? The active duty members. They are Lieutenant Colonel Frank Hudson from SOCOM, Major Sean Berg, 10th Special Forces Group, Major Mike Davis, 10th Special Forces Group, Major Glenn Thomas, 3rd Special Forces Group, Master Sergeant Kevin O'Connor, 10th Special Forces Group, Master Sergeant Alan Mullins, 10th Special Forces Group, and Spec 4 Evan Bozajian, who is the stepson of Tilt Meyer. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Hip, hip, hooray! We're especially pleased that these folks were able to attend with us. We would like to see many, many more. We have Kevin O'Connor and Alan Mullen and Sean Berg and everyone who is an active duty member of the association out there trying to get all the members we can to, or active duty members, to join and to come and participate with us at our annual SOAR. There are also a couple of sons from SOG Warriors this evening. James Hollingsworth. He is the son of Jim Hollingsworth, who was KIA in Vietnam while serving with SOG. James has attended our reunion in the past, but we are also glad to see him again. So Jim, we're glad to see you and hope you'll join us every SOAR. And visiting for the first time, I would like to introduce Richard Fitz, son of Richard Fitz, KIA in Vietnam on 30 November 1968. Richard Sr. was a part of a 7 all-U.S. Special Forces SOG team operating out of My Loc. Went down, the aircraft was shot down in the area of Quezon. Major Toomey was the major leading the mission, and his brother lives here in Las Vegas, but I've never been able to make contact with him so I can talk to him about his brother. I'd also like to give a special thanks to our sergeants at arms this evening. Daniel Teskey, SOA member number 2496. Daniel, would you stand up, please? And Joseph Brock, SOA member 1996 GL. They helped us out at the general membership meeting. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. We have other guests also. Steve Thompson. Steve, are you here? Steve Thompson is from the POW MIA Affairs and in JPAC. He replaced Dickie Heights. Gary Betterson, President of Special Forces Association. Gary, stand up, please. I'm sorry, Jack, I had to demote you. Mel Smith, Executive Director of the Special Forces Association. Miss Virginia Morris, are you here? Virginia Morris and Clive Hills were those who were interviewing and have written a book on the Ho Chi Minh Trail from the point of view of the North Vietnamese. Paul Warden, President of America Remembers. Paul, stand up, please. And Jeffrey Belcher, America Remembers. These gentlemen have Dwayne Davis, President of Elite Custom Plating and Weaponry. Not here, okay. Jason Esterline is not here also. And you've met Ron and Marge Workman. You've met Ron Workman, and his wife is with him, Marge Workman. Ron, thank you again for the presentation. Marge, welcome. We have some other distinguished guests also. John Guyduck, attorney at law, and president of Archangel Corporation. He's an honorary member. Mrs. Solvega Unger and her husband, Jim. Solvega is our parliamentarian who keeps us on track during our general membership meetings. Welcome. Marcus Rhinelander, photographer, Ho Chi Minh Trail Project, and Nat Stone, research partner, Ho Chi Minh Trail Project. And these gentlemen were up at Leghorn this last year. Dave Revering. Dave is a friend of the SOA. Dave was here at the casino when we started looking for a new home and was instrumental in bringing us here. Thank you, Dave. And finally, I would like to recognize the SOA Board of Directors and Special Staff. Vice President Earl Tribune, Treasurer Jack Bonner, Secretary and newly Secretary as of yesterday, Ty Furbish, and the past secretary, David Bulldog Smith, Rick Grabianowski, baby son, Cletus Sidnyard, newly elected again, Tilt Meyer, and newly elected again, Robert Strange. Newly appointed director, Ray Frobart, replacing Tom Waskovich. And executive director, SOA, newly appointed, Tom Waskovich. Chaplain, Luke Dove. The chairman, SOA Reunion Committee, Patrick Hefner. Patrick is the one that keeps everything running smooth and makes sure we have everything that we need from the hotel. Scholarship chairman, Al Keller. Chairman, SOA Budget and Planning Committee, Charles Berg. Chairman, SOA POW MIA Committee, Norm Doney. You know, Norm's been trying to step down for the last several years. Unfortunately, before each SOAR, we have to call him and say, Norm, can you do it again? And Norm never fails us. And so I have my special thanks, Norm, for your consistency and your dedication. Thank you. And last but not least, Chairman, SOA Special Operations Memorial Fund Committee at MacDill Air Force Base, Florida, John McClaskey. John, thank you. Oh, I do have some more. I turned the page. Clyde writes up these, and he makes them really long and doesn't have them all together all the time, so I missed some. Chairman, SOA Fundraising Committee, Clyde Sincere. Stand up, Clyde. Chairman, SOA Tally Committee, Bill Sylvester. All I can say about these guys is that they're the guys that do all the work. Patrick plans, he does a lot of work. I'm fortunate enough to have people around me that you have provided who do a very good job and who are very dedicated. They make sure that we stay on track, and our purpose for existence and being is to serve you and to keep this organization a member organization. It's responsive to you. If you have questions, you have problems, you have something you don't like, let us know. We'll take care of it. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your presence and your service. At this time, we're going to present the 30-year pin. This is the first time we've presented the 30-year pin, and so I'd like the following general members to come up as I call your name. All I have to do is find the list. I'm serious. I have to find the list. Clyde, you got another list? Oh, yes, I tucked it away. Jim Butler, SOA 001 GL. Les Chapman, SOA number 2. Dan Rock Myers, SOA number 3. Cliff Newman, SOA number 6. John Fryer, SOA number 7. Clyde Sincere, SOA number 10. Don Cobb, SOA number 12. Chuck Darnell, SOA number 13. Larry Kimmel, SOA 14. Don DeVere, SOA 18. Dave Gordon, SOA 20. Merle Eccles, SOA 24. Larry Manus, SOA 64. Mike Taylor, SOA 698. Bill Shelton, SOA 890. And Mo Worley, SOA 1698 GL.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You betcha. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
Take care. Larry, congratulations. Les.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Not a guy
Right.
here over 39.
Skip. I used it, didn't I?
Jim, thank you very
Okay,
much.
John, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clyde, number 10.
Thank you.
Don,
Hey, I got the first one.
Donald DeVere. If I live and breathe. Chuck, how you doing? There you go. Congratulations. David, congratulations. Larry, congratulations. Thank you for being here. Merle,
Thank you.
thank you for being here. Michael, congratulations.
If there were 51 of us there, how my number got to be 698.
You asked me that last time and I didn't know.
Thank you, sir.
Mo, there you go. I didn't realize that you were the same Worley that was in FOB too.
Well, I'm a kind of a quiet little guy.
Thanks for being here. Thank you, gentlemen. Give them a hand, ladies and gentlemen. You bet you do. Thanks, Al. We thought it appropriate at this time that we ask all the members of MAC v. SOG to stand up, please. MAC v. SOG members, please stand up. Thank you, gentlemen. We have done this as a beginning to honor all of the units that are in our organization, and MAC v. SOG basically was the first organization, and so we thank you for getting it started, and it's grown to be quite an organization. Thank you much. Now it's time to eat. Tom Waskovich will do some of his first duties by helping us to eat. I bet Tom never knew he'd be a mess sergeant.
Thank you very much. There are two serving stations on each side of the podium. You can form two lines when your tables are called up. The first tables, please go up. It's table 3, table 4, 5, 6, and 7. Please start us off.
Just when you sat down, right?
Oh, boy.
Need me to get to something while you rest?
You can form two lines. How long is it going to be? They're just putting the food out right now. It should be about 5 more minutes.
I was neglect as I introduced the Warrior Widows. Terry Wesley is with us tonight. Her husband passed away this past year. I'm sorry, Terry, that I missed you. Thank you for being here.